Hey guys, what's going on? So there's so many crypto news and also about AI too. Uh, I've been absent the past probably like a few months. So now the SEC, the latest news, SEC Security Action Commission Chairman Gary Gensler is suing Coinbase and Binance, I think a week ago. And this company is 16Z, which is a venture capitalist based in San Francisco, which is, I think, is one of the biggest. In fact, it's the biggest in terms of their crypto fund, the capital. So they are opening their new base in London. And here is Rishi Sunak, which is the new prime minister, Indian descent. I think he has like a has to do with Tata, like grandson or something, or some relationship with grandson. So anyway, so he congratulates Excellency as the as I think it's the first venture capitalist from the U.S. As establishing their office to London. So this is really good news. This is give like a hope that the actually crypto is not dead, like it's far from dead. Actually, there are, as the American government or the Security Action Commission led by Gary Gensler is like kind of hostile in quote towards crypto. There are actually many countries who are opening up. The other countries that are opening up is Hong Kong. Actually, a few weeks ago, one of the I think from the Parliament of Congress, like inviting for Coinbase to open up their office in Hong Kong. I'm not sure how Coinbase. I think I haven't heard any news that Coinbase responded to that. And the this thing is also even within the U.S. The fight has always just begun. Warren Davidson, um, he says he's a product designer, but I think it's some kind of a congressman probably from Ohio. He's a former Army Ranger. So he and with another guy from, who's this? Um, uh, so he's from Ohio, and then it's another guy. I think Emmer. Is it Emmer? Um, Tom Emmer, yeah. GOP Majority Whip from Minnesota, 60 congressman from Minnesota. He so the two of them, they are filing a call the SEC Stabilization Act to restructure the SEC government and to recommend to fire Gary Gensler. So and this is just from these two people, and I know there's some other prominent like politician, especially from Texas and from I think Miami, Florida. They are openly they're pro crypto. So we'll see how these things will unfold. But I believe from what I heard from the podcast, I think the crypto people are has a good chance, at least more than 50%, probably is going to win the case. Um, the lawyers they always said that working for the SEC is a kind of like a second grade lawyers who cannot work for somebody the private companies and they just work for the government. So the best lawyers are like working for Coinbase or for like the private companies. Yeah. So and then there's this piece from again from A16C about again after before they open their announcement of their office in London. Mark Andreessen basically published uh, an essay about AI, why AI wouldn't will not destroy the world, or AI wouldn't kill the world. Why AI will save the world? This one. So I recommend you, if you have time, you can read this piece. It's really good. But basically, the one that strikes me, like many people like worried that the technology is too powerful, therefore has to be like either stopped or has to be like delayed. And I'm actually quite surprised that the one that's so recently, a few months ago, there's a couple of people that are signing the kind of, Elon Musk is one of them, to basically to postpone by 6 months something like that the development of AI, which is surprising because I thought Elon Musk is very pro AI. But anyway, the counter argument of that is basically that the people who are arguing that the AI has to be stopped or arguing that AI has to be delayed is they don't have AI strategy at all, or they are behind, right? And the thing is about AI, if you stop it, and this is a powerful thing to argue that look who's gonna be who will likely to lead the AI revolution. China, with they have a really top-down approach. The the Chinese government is openly like really ambitious about their AI plan. They want to dominate the AI technology. You can just Google it freely. The AI plan, Chinese plan to for AI technology. So, and they're very kind of like centralized. They're very organized. Unlike the U.S. government is very like kind of like very kind of sort of kind of decentralized and very kind of like chaotic as compared to the Chinese government, which is very organized. So if the U.S. government or the U.S. establishment decided to stop or to postpone, then guess who are going to be the beneficial for that? The Chinese government wouldn't like slow down, right? They would be very happy. Oh, cool! Now our main competition is already slowing down or even like stopping it. Then we can just full steam ahead without any competition at all. And within like 1 or 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years down the road, then the Chinese government is going to be the AI superpower, right? And that's like, yeah, that's not good. Yeah, it's like remind me of the story of when there's a nuclear war between the Russia and the U.S. Just imagine if U.S. said, the U.S. government said, okay, we're gonna stop this because nuclear is bad. We're not gonna pursue like nuclear strategy. We're not gonna like develop any like technology about nuclear. Then the Russia could win the nuclear war, and they could like by now Russia could be like bullying a lot of countries with their nuclear power, right? But that's not what happened. Actually, the Russia and the U.S. can like competed, and actually kind of Russia kind of lost during that nuclear like competition, and probably the result of that is the world is in a better place. So this same story will play out the same thing as artificial intelligence is going to compete. We have to compete the U.S. There's no way not to compete. If I think the U.S. not to compete is just, it's like kind of like game over. Like you're just gonna let the future of humanity is gonna be like probably gonna be more like led by the Chinese government. If that's what you want, that's a different story. But I don't think many people want to live in that kind of environment, because from what we understand from the Chinese government, they kind of more autocratic. They want to more to control their citizen, right? So we don't want that. We want to be more freedom, empowerment, and all that stuff, the good stuff. Yeah, I think so. That's the big story. And then the other thing is like the intersection between crypto and AI. So so from what I could envision, like U.S. wouldn't budge down. I think I'm very optimist at this point, even though now there's still fighting going on between the Republican and Democrat, right? But when they are being asked, okay, who do you want, like China to be like the superpower in terms of AI, or you want the US? Of course, the US want to be superpower. So I think the Republican and Democrat can be united under that, and because of that, I think we're gonna kind of uh, uh, win the kind of the AI like war, kind of, you know. We are kind of already winning. We have already the ChatGPT, we have the Google Bard, Microsoft already has the Bing thing, right? So we're already kind of winning. We just have to keep on continue to make sure we're winning, like, you know. So if that's happen, and it's going to happen, and it's going to continue to happen in the future, the artificial intelligence is gonna just plot it. That's gonna just go into every industry, every aspect of our life, right? So um, that there's an intersection with the crypto, which is basically when we think about it, like AI is basically is like an intelligence on steroids, right? So and you can like actually build bots, right? So they're like the ChatGPT. When we use ChatGPT, you're actually conversing with kind of like with an agent, kind of like with the cloud service. So, for example, like if you make a bot for email, like a ChatGPT for email, for example. So when I receive an email, instead of I'm the one who's reading the email, I let the my ChatGPT email agent read the email, and then instead of I'm replying it, typing it, and then my agent ChatGPT email is gonna reply it immediately. So it's basically between bots to bots, like interaction. And if that's already happening between bots to bot AI happening interaction, that's going to be like really in the speed of light, right? The interaction, right? The email interaction, whatever. And 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 for that, probably there's going to be like a there's going to be like an economy going on, because there's already like transaction going on. There's going to be like probably uh, buy and sell going on transaction. Like it's not just for email; it could be for commerce also, like that, right? So there has to be like a bank account, right? And that bank account is, I mean, how what's the best thing for AI? Like what's the best bank account for AI? Is it like a still like the bank account published by Chase, published by Huntington Bank, published by Citibank? Kind of weird, because this is like a digital native like intelligence. So the right um, I think bank account is has to be like digital native currency, which is crypto, which is the Web3. So if that happens, then it's like a match in heaven, where this AI bot or AI agent that has a bank account in cryptocurrency, and they can just transact really quickly, because it's everything is digital. Crypto is digital, right? So with the speed kind of like light, and then it settles, in a few seconds, instead of now when we have want to me I want to like send my money to Indonesia to my mom. It has to be clear. My mom has to wait like 2-3 days, and or has to be clear within 2 to 3 days, right? That's not gonna fly in the digital, like in a fully digital world, where every transaction, every interaction happens in seconds, or even like in a split seconds. So the right solution for that is to have cryptocurrency for this agent to transact like seamlessly, without even us like in between it. Like we're just probably like supervising it at the end of the day, kind of like that. So that's the one that's like really interesting. You can hear that from the podcast. I think it's from the from Hussein is a VC also. What's the VC name? Um, a Dragonfly. Yeah, this guy. So I think he talks about this on one of the yeah, he has this Dragonfly Ventures. So he has a podcast. I think it's with Unchain. It's called Unchain. With you can hear it. Unchain Crypto. This one, yeah, with Laura Shin. Yeah, yeah. I forgot which one, but you can just go to YouTube and then see. Um, yeah, and the other one is the one that people are always like afraid is just like you have to stop AI because it's gonna make like people lose their job, you know. So, and if you look at the history of the technology, like during the industrial revolution, before, when there's a lot of farmers, like I think 90% of people were farming, and then there's the invention of the machine, right? The steam machine, and then tractors coming in, and then also car coming in. So so there's a lot. I think they call it the Ludiats. They were like burning the factory because they're afraid their job is going to be taken over by these machines. But actually, if you look at the history, actually it creates more jobs, right? Because the what the technology enables basically is it drive down prices, and if the technology drive down prices, people can afford it more, and so the demand of that particular product is going to spike like exponentially. If the demand is going to spike, there could be they're going to like make more factory to or increase their supply, right, to meet the demand of that particular products, right? um, and that's like creating a positive feedback loop, right? So, and if you look at like the most like robotized like country right now, it's just like German is one of them. If you look at the unemployment rate, is quite low, right? So when people argue that technology is gonna kind of like eliminate jobs, that's true, but it's only half the truth, because it also, okay, it's eliminate jobs, but it also create more jobs than ever. Actually, people are more like like more productive, more busy, and so on, right? And it created jobs that people couldn't even imagine. Like even like I don't know, 20 years ago, before Google was invented, who could imagine like there's an influencer, there's a YouTube, there's people like me like talking like this. This is a job, actually, right? This is actually a job. Is, when you think about it, is just creating value to people, to other people, right? To society. That's what a job is, right? So there are unimaginably like creative ways to create many jobs that I couldn't even think of with this new technology of AI. Like yeah, so like YouTube doesn't exist, Instagram doesn't exist before, Facebook doesn't exist, right? TikTok doesn't exist, but now exists. Now, actually, people have jobs inside that social media platform, right? So, I think the same thing is going to happen with AI, right? Because that's cycle is going to repeat, because with AI, what's going to happen is the productivity of every like job is going to be like 10x or 100x, whether you're a software engineers or, let's say, I don't know, service provider, like I don't know, technician or factory workers or nurse or doctor. I think your productivity is gonna 10x or even 100x, right? So it will drive the cost down, which also means could drive up the demand because people can afford it, right? For example, like the basic example of this is like Tesla, right? Elon Musk has this grand plan like 20 years ago. He put it out there like in the public that, oh, the first thing I'm gonna build is the expensive roadster Tesla, which just costs like $200,000. Only for the rich people can afford it, right? And then after that, it's gonna build a middle, like, price mid-tier, which is around 100,000, which is the Model X, the one with the Falcon wing. You know, some rich people, some middle income people can afford it, and then after that is the Model Y, and the Model 3 now is about 40,000, right? And now after even rebate, it's like in California you can get it for 28,000. That's unbelievable affordable. It's like the same as buying like Toyota Camry, right? Why not? Yeah, why should you buy a Toyota Camry? You should just get this Tesla Model 3, right? So that's like always like that. It's like it drives down first. It's only the rich people can have it, and the cost is drive down, and then it drives up the demand, right? Because people want the new technology, because technology basically makes life people easier, so they want that, right? And because it's cheaper, people will buy it. Like if you go to California, I know I heard from my brother. I just called him like yesterday. He said Tesla is like a tree. It's like everywhere. If like a year, 2 years ago, you can see probably like one every three, one every four. Now it's like one every two. It's like almost everybody's driving Tesla, right? So because the cost is already down, and then it drives up demand, therefore Elon Musk is gonna have probably have to put more factory, right? And it's gonna drive more demand, right? So yeah, so to stop technology, to stop AI, it doesn't make sense because you're basically like cutting your foot. You're limping yourself. You're like kind of like yeah, make your life like worse because technology basically enhance or enable human like empowerment, right? And you want that in a society. If the opposite happened, then our society is going to be like more misery, more like poor, more like no options. Everything is become expensive, right? Remember, if just imagine if Tesla is still like 200,000, right? If there's no driving down this cost because of technology, right? So Tesla is still unaffordable. Tesla is still for only the rich because Elon Musk doesn't apply the technology, right? The one that he's been building, right? So because technology drive down costs, you want to apply that so you can like sell it to everybody in the whole world, which is just 8 billion people in the whole world can afford it, kind of. So yeah, I think that's the whole thing. It's just AI is just gonna drive down costs. I think that's kind of like the gist of it, and everybody wants cheap stuff and quality stuff, and they want their life to be improved than before ever, right? It's if it's the role of technology is to make our life easier. That's what it is. The role of technology, and to empower ourselves to become like have a better life, a better future, to make ourselves like a better version for ourselves. And we don't want the opposite of that, right? Kind of, right? So yep, I think that's the update for now. I've been talking for 20 minutes. So, all right. Cheers. I'll see you next time. Peace.